Everyone over 50 has been there. They're having a great chat with a younger woman. Everything is going well. Suddenly she asks, "How old are you?" And in that split second, everything changes. If you answer the wrong way, you might feel the energy shift. She pulls back, suddenly less interested, and you can tell something just went off. But if you handle it correctly, this moment can actually work in your favor, making you even more attractive in her eyes. Most men mess this up. They hesitate, they get defensive, they start explaining themselves, and as soon as they do that, they've already lost. But a few men know how to turn this question into an advantage. They don't just answer, they take over the conversation, and today I'll show you how to do that. Let's be clear. This isn't just about your age, it's about how you handle any personal question that comes your way. They're not looking for a number, they're looking for confidence. They want to know if you're a man who owns himself or if you're quietly uncomfortable in your own skin. Before we go any further, let me ask you this. Do you think your age makes you less attractive when dating younger women? Comment yes if you think it matters and no if you don't. I want to know where you stand before I tell you the truth, because this is how things really are. You're already losing if you think your age is a problem. But if you know how to take care of yourself properly, it can be your best advantage, and this video will show you how to do that. First, let's look at the Stoic point of view. It's not your age that's wrong. Tough attitude. Your age isn't the issue. When a woman asks a man his age, most men think she's looking for a specific number that will tell her whether to stay interested or lose interest right away. But the truth is that it's not about the number, it's about how you answer the question. As Marcus Aurelius said, you have power over your mind, not over outside events. This is exactly what applies here. You can't change the fact that a woman asked you your age, but you can change how you answered her. When men who are rattled pause or try to explain their age, they send a clear message without meaning to. I don't like myself. And when a woman feels that, she loses interest. Not because of the age gap, but because insecurity is never attractive. Let me tell you about Steve. He was 48, recently divorced, in great shape. And back in the dating game, he had a great personality, solid career, and plenty of life experience. But every time he met a younger woman and the age question came up, his reaction betrayed him. I remember him telling me about a 29-year-old he was interested in. The two of them were having a fantastic conversation, everything was clicking, and then she casually asked, "How old are you?" And in that moment he panicked, he tensed up, let out a nervous laugh and said, "I'm 48, but I still feel young, you know." Boom, conversation killed, not because he was 48, but because his reaction showed he wasn't comfortable with it. The moment you flinch, add a disclaimer, or try to justify yourself, you make your age seem like a problem. And if you act like it's a problem, she will see it as a problem too. Contrast that with another guy I coached, Paul, who was 53. Whenever women asked about his age, he would smile, stay completely composed, and simply say, "I turned 53 in April." No excuses, no hesitation, no justifications, and then without missing a beat, he'd smoothly ask, "When's your birthday?" Notice the difference. As soon as he answered, he changed the subject, showing that age wasn't important to him. Since he didn't make it important, neither did she. This is where most men fail. The Stoic mindset teaches us that what happens outside of us is the problem, not what happens to us. When you realize this, you regain control because, let's be honest, if a woman is already talking to you, flirting with you, and engaging with you, she's already attracted to you. You're already in the game, and your age will never be a deal breaker unless you give her a reason to doubt it. If you ever feel insecure about your age, remember this. The problem is never the number, the problem is how you think about it. In the next section, I'll show you the 3 biggest mistakes men make when answering this question and why they do everything they can to hurt themselves. The most common mistakes are why most guys fail, typical mistakes that make most guys fail. What's worse is that most men don't realize how the way they answer the age question can make or break their chances with a woman. They even hurt their own chances without realizing it. They think they're handling it well, when, in reality, they're sending a loud and clear message of insecurity. Here are the 3 biggest mistakes that kill attraction right away. You may have heard guys say things like, "I'm 52, but I feel really young at heart." "I'm 60, but I stay in great shape." Or, "I'm 45, but I can still keep up with guys in their 30s. They think they're making themselves look better, but what they're really doing is sending the message that their age is something to be ashamed of. A Stoic man doesn't defend himself. He states fact with confidence. When you add a qualifier, you're telling her, "I know my age is a problem, so let me try to make up for it," which makes you look weak. Moving the question or trying to be smart is the second mistake. When asked how old they are, some guys, people try to avoid answering by saying things like, "Age is just a number," or "old enough to know better," while still being young enough to still have fun. I understand why they do this. They think it sounds mysterious, playful, or even charming, but in reality, it comes off as if they're hiding something. Women are very good at spotting subtle signs of discomfort, and when they feel like you're not answering correctly, it sends up a red flag. For example, if you asked a woman where she was from and she said, "I've been around," or "I'll tell you later," it would make her seem like she was lying. Right, shadowy. The same reasoning works here. When a man is truly happy with his age, he doesn't need to avoid the question. The third mistake is drawing attention to the age gap. Some men think they're funny when they joke, "Wow, I'm old enough to be your father," or "Do you usually go for older guys?" What they're really doing is making her think about the age difference, which makes her more likely to question whether she's okay with it. Here's the truth. Women don't care as much about age differences as men think they do. If a woman is interested in you, it's because of your energy, presence, and how you make her feel. The moment you start acting self-conscious about your age, you break that spell and remind her of something she wasn't even thinking about. She stops seeing you as a handsome, sure of himself man, and starts seeing you as just another guy who's not sure of himself. When you treat your age as a liability instead of an asset, you make all of these mistakes. But when you learn to accept it, own it, and listen to the conversation with confidence, everything changes. In the next section, I'll show you the exact formula that high-value men used to turn this question into a moment of attraction instead of a moment of self-doubt. Number 3. The Stoic reaction is the only one you need most. The only answer you need is the Stoic formula. Men get nervous when women ask them their age, but the truth is that it's an opportunity, not a test. If you answer properly, you not only keep their attention, you gain it. The key is to follow a simple 3-step formula: accept, reframe, and redirect. This method keeps you in charge, boosts your confidence, and easily changes the talk in your favor. Accept a high value as the first step. Man doesn't try to avoid truth, he embraces it. When she asks how old you are, you tell her straight out, without hesitating, without explaining, and without saying sorry. Stoics don't waste time thinking about things they can't change, and your age is one of those things. Instead of saying, "I'm 40 to 45 years old, but I feel young," just say, "I turned 45 in June." That's it. Simple, direct, and sure of yourself. There were no qualifiers, nervous laughs, or getting up and moving around. Just a fact that was stated clearly. The second step is reframe. Once you've stated your age, you immediately follow up with a statement that positions it as an advantage. This is where most men fail. They let their age be something that just sits there in the air, inviting judgment. And instead, you take control by adding a remark that subtly reinforces your value. If you're 50, you could say, and honestly, this has been my best year. Yet if you're 40, you could add, and I wouldn't trade the experience I've gained for anything. This does two things. First, it makes you sound completely comfortable with yourself. And second, it subtly guides her perspective, encouraging her to see your age in a positive light. The third step is redirect. Once you've reframed your age, you immediately shift the focus of the conversation onto her. The simplest way to do this is by asking a natural follow-up question like, when's your birthday, or what's your zodiac sign? Even if you don't care about astrology, the point is to keep the conversation moving. By doing this, you prevent the age to avoid being the center of attention. The key is to act like it's nothing out of the ordinary. If a woman asks, "How old are you?" he replies, "I turned 48 in April, and I have to say this has been my best year yet. When's your birthday?" It's natural, there's no hesitation, and she doesn't flinch either. That's the power of owning your frame. When you use this method, remember this rule. Your age is only a problem if you make it one. If you accept, reframe, and redirect, you show that you are at peace with yourself, which is the most beautiful thing about you. In the next section, we'll go into even more detail about why some guys have problems with their age and how to change your mind so that you never have to worry about it again. The shift in your mind, how to really own your age. Again, number 4, the change of mind you need to really own your age. It's never a man's age that makes him attractive, it's how he walks. Some men in their 50s and 60s easily attract younger women. Some people in their 30s have trouble with this because confidence isn't tied to a number, it's tied to how you see yourself. If you see your age as an advantage, others will follow your lead. The problem isn't that men get older, it's that many of them let age define them. They start believing society's stories that youth equals desirability and getting older means losing your edge. They internalize these ideas and start acting as if they're past their prime without realizing it. This belief system shows in their posture, how they talk, and how they interact with women. That which turns women off is not their age, but the way they act because of how they feel about it. Well, let me give you an example. I worked with 2 men a while ago. One was 44 and the other was 57. The 44-year-old was in good shape and had a good job, but he always said he was too old to draw younger women. He focused on the competition because he thought women only wanted guys in their 20s or early 30s, and because he felt insecure in every contact he had. On the other hand, the 57-year-old had no doubts. He had a strong presence, a sharp mind, and a life full of interesting experiences that made him interesting. He carried himself like a man who knew his worth, and guess what? Women didn't care about his age, they cared about how he made them feel. This is where Stoicism comes in. A Stoic doesn't waste time worrying about things he can't change. He doesn't sit around wondering if he's too old or if younger men have an advantage. Instead, he focuses on what he can change: his presence, his mindset, and his self-mastery. Women don't respond to numbers, they respond to certainty. If you're having trouble with your age, ask yourself if it's the number itself or the meaning you've given it. Because here's the truth. If a woman is talking to you, she's already interested. If she asks you your age, she's not looking for a reason to turn you down. She's watching how you react, doubt, and hesitation. She learns everything she needs to know except the right answer from too much explanation. Owning your age keeps a conversation going. Be cool, direct, and sure of yourself. It's not just about dating. It's about how you act in every part of your life. If you shine, everyone will follow. People will treat you badly if you act like your best years are behind you, but well, if you live your life as if you're at your peak, you will be treated well. The only thing that separates a man who struggles from a man who thrives is his belief system. In the next section, I'll challenge you to put this mindset to the test in real life and see what a difference it makes. The ultimate test. A test for you, make number 5. The ultimate test, a task for you. Understanding this idea is one thing, but putting it into practice is what really sets high-value men apart from men who let their insecurity control them. I have a simple but effective challenge for you. Stand in front of a mirror and say your age out loud. Don't be shy or sorry. Say it with confidence. You'll notice a difference right away in how people, especially women, react to you. Take it on. Look at yourself and say, I'm 42 or I'm 55 or whatever your age is. Then right after that say, I'm 42 and I'm in the best shape of my life, or I'm 55 and I wouldn't trade my experience for anything. Do this every morning for the next week. It may sound simple, but the way you talk about your age affects how you feel about it. If you keep telling yourself you're too old or that younger guys are better, that belief will seep into everything you do. Second, pay attention to how you react when someone asks your age in real life. The next time a woman asks, stop and think. Say it straight out, I turned 50 in March. Then ask, when is your birthday? And watch what happens if you stay calm. She won't flinch, and you'll realize that the real problem wasn't the number, it was how you responded to it. Third, watch how women act around different kinds of guys in public. Watch older guys who are sure of themselves and not worried about their age. Do they have trouble attracting people, or do they seem to do it naturally? You'll start to notice a pattern. It's not your age that turns women off, it's your insecurity. Here's the last part of the task. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Did you try this? How did it feel? Did you notice a difference in how people responded? If you've been seeing your age as a flaw, this small change in perspective can completely change how you see yourself, because at the end of the day, you have two options. You can let society, your own doubts and insecurities, tell you how you feel about getting older, or you can take charge of the story. Be proud of your age and see how the world changes to fit your spirit. In the last part, you have a choice. I'll end this by giving you one last lesson that will help you remember everything we've talked about today. In conclusion, it's not your age that makes people interested in you, it's how you carry yourself. Women aren't interested in you because of your age, they're interested when they can tell you're not happy with it. Men who struggle and men who thrive are not different because they are younger or luckier. It's certainty the man who owns himself, who speaks with confidence, who embraces his experiences and carries them with pride. That's the man who naturally draws people in. You can't change the past, and you can't make yourself younger. But what you can control is the way you show up in the world. If you believe your age is a disadvantage, you'll prove yourself right. But if you see it as a strength, if you recognize the value of everything you've learned, everything you've built, and the presence you've developed, you'll move through life in a way that makes people take notice. There's a reason why younger men try to act older, why they mimic the confidence and experience that only comes with time. They understand on some level that real presence takes years to develop. You already have what they're trying to build. The only question is, do you recognize it? So the next time someone asks how old you are, don't hesitate, don't justify, don't overthink. Say it with ease, let it roll off your tongue, and move forward as if it's the most natural thing in the world, because it is. The world takes cues from you when you move with confidence. People follow. When you own your age, you own your life.